All right, guys. So we'll kick it off with respect for everybody that logged in on time. So first of all, welcome to our webinar today, the second or third, I think actually it is, of this year's series of webinars. Some of you might know, and at least I know some of the names of the participants that we run these webinars approximately twice a month, once a month, depending on time, etc. So today we're going to speak about quite an interesting topic, being content marketing, but not just content marketing, really about how do we use technology to manage the big task of creating content, producing content, promoting content, etc. So we're going to show you some really interesting content and some interesting elements around the technology that can help you manage the production of content and distribution of content. So with that said, just a few housekeeping rules. Everybody has been put on mute. However, the webinar will be recorded. So if you have to jump off before time ends, or if you find this webinar extremely interesting and want to show this, hopefully, want to show this to one of your peers or one of your colleagues, then you will receive an email afterwards with the recorded version of this email. And yes, Nikki, I have recorded it this time. Last time I started the recording in the middle of the webinar. So for those of you that were on that, sorry about that. But we're ready to kick it off. So as always, we're a few speakers today. Actually, we have invited one of our good consultants, marketing consultants, Matthias, who is has a role in Increase where he really specializes and focusing on content creation, but not just content creation, really creating content that generates value. So welcome to you, Matthias. And yeah, we're actually in the same room today. Last time we had Robert with us, and in that webinar we were in different rooms. So just to sum up the agenda for today, we'll start out by speaking a little bit about content. Matthias will give you some examples of what content is really about, speak a little bit about the competitive landscape, but not seen from a content perspective, not just seen from a content perspective. We'll come a little bit back to that. Then we'll speak a little bit about personas and the importance of personas, but I think everybody knows what personas are, so we're not going to spend hours and hours and speaking about personas in general. But what we'll really spend some time on today is try to show you how technology really can support the creation of content, the publishing of content, the managing of content, etc. I'm going to spend some time on that and show you some cool screenshots from the platform and the technology that can really support this. So I hope that was what you expected. If it wasn't, then you have time to log off still. But we hope we can keep you involved in the webinar for the 45 minutes we have together today. A little bit about Increase. That's going to be 1.5 slides. I'm not sure we can make half a slide, but 2 slides. So it's going to be very short. So we are 32 people. We work all over the Nordics, implementing what we call modern customer strategies, really taking the customer journey and bringing it into to technology. So how can we implement a technology that really supports a personalized and relevant customer journey? We've become the highest certified partner in the Oracle partner community. We've won a number of awards, and we've really pioneered the marketing cloud of Oracle in the Nordics for many years. Funny enough, we also do business with a lot of different customers, as I mentioned before, all over the Nordics. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So let's jump into the agenda of today. And as I mentioned before, I have my good colleague Matthias with me. And Matthias, you are passionate about content and content that creates results. So would you take it away from here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. So yeah, I'm extremely passionate about content, but you know, content marketing has been a buzzword for quite some time, and I've stumbled upon this small piece of content, and you know, keep calm and create awesome content. That's just what it's all about. But you know, it's not that easy. It's not that difficult, but it's not that easy. One of my personal favorites in content is this one. I know it's a pretty bad picture, but it's in Swedish. It's a strawberry. So this is just brilliant content marketing. We have strawberries here, so obviously there's some issues. You need to be quite close to actually see it. So for it to have an effect, you need to really be within walking distance. So if you see this one, well, you might not want to travel 100 kilometers for strawberries. So if you want to market your strawberries and you don't want to have a sign like this saying, hey, within 100 kilometers you can get strawberries, you will probably need to advertise yourself somehow online, which means that the first bit of brilliant content, you can't really put that in a different context and have the same result. So you will have to produce content in a different way. Otherwise, your effort will be yeah, you won't get the results that you want. So talking a bit about the competition, when we talk about the competitive landscape, so you have your content, you have now produced the content, and you have perhaps produced awesome content, but the competition you're in is, it's not like you're selling shoes and this is you and you're happy and you have all the shoes, and this is your worst competitor. They also sell shoes and they have a lot more shoes, and they can give them away on the internet for almost no money at all. So this is not your competitor. Actually, the competitor for you is, according to Harvard Business Review a couple of years ago, they printed an article about a normal person in the world today, a couple of years ago, is actually receiving 11,680 emails per year. So a more recent article from them said that in 2018 it will be more than 50,000 messages per year per person. So that's quite a lot of content shown to your audience as well. So
I think also one of the things that is relevant also to keep in mind is that if you speak to people that investigate in the digital appearances of companies in general, and the number of messages that we are receiving, it's not only emails that we are being pushed by, it's all kinds of touch points, right? And what we foreseen from those sort of investigations is that people will take a digital timeout. So the time we have together with our customers when we produce content often becomes less and less and less. And I know, Matthias, you have a little bit of statistics on that also.
Yeah, actually, it's it's quite unfortunate because for some years we've been boasting about having an attention span of 12 seconds, which is 3 more than a goldfish, because a goldfish only have an attention span of 9 seconds. But actually, recent studies, according to an article in Time magazine, says that we now, as an adult person, we actually only have the attention span for an 8-second attention span. So we are now less not, we're not dumber than a goldfish.
I don't hope you called our listeners a goldfish now.
No. But actually, it just means that when you have your audience and you have the amount of messages and emails and impressions that these people get, and you have a limited time to make that impression, then you really need to be smart about it. So that takes us into personas, because as Lasse said, we all know what personas is about. And if you take the two of us in this room, we are very much alike. At least when you zoom just a little into us, we're about 40, we have kids, we have houses, cars. We're both marketing professionals. We like sports, we're football fans, and we have a passion and an interest in technology. But if you zoom a little more in, then we're quite different, because we're not a fan of the same football team. So that's obviously a big difference in passion, that is. But also, if you want to sell us something for example running, we might purchase the same running shoes. If you want to sell us something for you know, the car, we might purchase the same thing. But if you want us to sell us like a printer or something like that, there's a big difference in us, because I'm working as a consultant. Lasse is as well, but that's because he's interested in. He's also a business owner and running the increase. So his purchasing patterns from a business to business perspective is very much different from mine. So what seems like we are totally the same, it really depends on what you want to talk to us about. So when we are going into personas, some of you have seen this before. We need to start off by putting some different attributes into the persona. So we will make a persona based on what we want to talk to the audience about. When we go into this girl, Johanna, who's a marketing manager, she's actually she could be one of you guys. We have a profile, we have her responsibilities, pain points, key drivers, motivation, validations, and so on and so forth. But we also have Johanna in different stages in her buying journey, in the different stages where she's moving from interest over learn, evaluate, justify into purchase. And obviously, everybody who's selling stuff, including us, we would like to talk only to the stage called purchase, because that's where the money is. But obviously, as we all know, we need to go through all the stages. So we need to create some content that is supporting this journey for all our different personas.
And I guess that's really one of the essence of content issues here, right, Matthias, that we can have personas like you and I, which have the same age, we have the same look and feel, but in reality, depending on what kind of product you are advertising and selling, we are actually very different. And not only are we different from different products, we also have different stages, right? So if you need to communicate to me as a business owner while I'm in investigating a new communication platform for our company, well, I might be in the interest phase, meaning that my type of persona, because I'm a business owner, which could be a financial purchaser, well, we need to have content that tells me around the ROI of this investment, whereof we might have a technical buyer also, where he in an interest or in a learn phase also need to have different types of content. So I guess the essence of this is that the amount of content that is needed to really break through the clutter that you described before, Matthias, with the attention span of the goldfish and the number of messages that we're receiving daily. It's really around managing content, making sure that we deliver the right content in the right timings and through the right channels.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and that's a big challenge. So we all of us, we have the content, we have the audience, and we have also different sources of technology. The problem with this is that actually often the technology is in silos. So we have different types of content. We have our Twitter feeds, we have our LinkedIn feeds, we have our websites, we have our small mini websites, we have email marketing, we have print, we have movies, we have YouTubes, we have different types of content, and they're all stored in their own little silo, and they're not really connected, and then not really taking into consideration that we have many different personas with many different stages. So we might have a persona and a buyer's journey in our email marketing platform, but we definitely don't have that on our Twitter feed, because the people working with the Twitter feed, they are working.
We have an issue here. Okay, Sophie, I'll get back to you in a second on that.
So
I guess the real challenge here we see when we meet customers, and I think from my own perspective, especially when we meet enterprise customers, global companies, etc. I think the real challenge here is that everybody understands that we need personas and we need to supply content over the the different parts of the buyer's journey, but content is distributed into different technology silos, into different platforms. And we have to support the production of content, also having multiple content authors. We need to support the corporate identity while being creative, which is often two different tasks. We also need to document, the investments in content is growing rapidly. So what is actually the ROI of the content that we have created? Which pieces of our content is converting the best compared to other pieces of content, or which authors that are writing the content for us are actually creating content that is the most effective. So those are some of the content challenges that we're really seeing with our customers in general. And luckily, there are technology out there that can really support that challenge, because we all know that we need the audience and we need to create the content. But how do we actually manage that content? And for this, there are really content technology, and that's what we're going to give you guys a short introduction to in just a second. So centralized content storage, not in the sense of a database, but a place where we can consolidate our personas, combine that with the customer journey, align and structure the content production processes, manage the corporate identity, and also document the ROI of our content, all inside one platform that can then be used to distribute the content into the different distribution channels that is needed, like social and email and websites, etc.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's try to dive into that and give you guys a view of how that platform could really support that content challenge.
Yeah, so this takes us right back to the beginning to just keep calm and create awesome content. But this time, let's look at the awesome content in the awesome content context. So we can actually produce the result and just not just write some pretty words, but write some pretty words that have the much needed effect. So as you know, as Lasse said, we are a partner to Oracle, and we are working with the Oracle Marketing Cloud, and it has a lot to offer. We are not going to be able to dive into everything today, but we will take you through some of the 5 P's of content marketing. So we're going to talk about the planning, the producing. Not so much about publish, promote, and prove, but we'll just zoom in on the 2 first piece and talk briefly about the last 3 also. So when we log into Oracle's content marketing cloud called Compendium, we have, as you can see, we actually have the 5 P's present right there. So we actually work around them. It's not just a pretty PowerPoint slide. It's actually a part of the working process. So when you want to start planning your content, you can start by going into your editorial calendar and you can work through your 5 P's. That's that's what I'm going to do right now. So when you plan, you can work with your editorial planner. You can calendar. You can go through the ideas and topic planning. You can go through the personas, projects, and a lot more cool stuff there. So you can without being actually an author, or you can actually go ahead and plan a lot of different things. So when you're producing, you can either create or you can manage content, because that's also a big part of the production of content, is actually the managing part. So when you go into publish, you will be able to shoot your created content out in the relevant platforms, and you can work. Sorry, Lasse is changing here the slides. So, but when you've done that, you can promote it also through linked accounts, and obviously you want, if you have created something brilliant, you want as many people to see it as possible. And when you have created something brilliant, you can actually go into proof as well, and you can see what is really working, who's writing brilliant stuff. Not because it's lyrically beautiful, but because it's effective and creates ROI. So obviously the proof part is really important in this context. So let's dive a bit into the first two pieces, the plan and the produce. And now let's start with actually setting a frame here, because when we want to produce and plan for making some content, we need to build a frame to which person in which stage we are actually writing, so we don't make the mistake of just writing something that looks good, but actually write something that looks good to Johanne, because we want her to react. We are not interested in the CFO or CEO's opinion. We are interested in Johanne's opinion. So we start by setting the frame, and for that we use the persona.
I think this is really one of the key elements to be really specific around, because while you're creating your personas, you're also able to create the customer stages that we discussed earlier on, which means that we can now create the persona that we've drawn up on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper, and make this available inside the platform. Which means that when we move into the produce part of this platform in just a second, you will see that the content creators can now create content to Johanna in a specific stage, thereby managing content with the right messaging and the right elements in a combination of both the buyer's journey, the stages of where Johanna might be in, and Johanna as a persona. So in the platform, we can have as many personas that we would like. So in this case, we've just created two, a marketing buyer and a technical buyer. So if you were in the market for a platform like the Content Cloud or the Oracle Marketing Cloud in general, usually there would be a number of different buyers in that decision making. So you might have a marketing user that needs to understand how the platform is working, right? And you might have a technical buyer from IT that wants to understand that how does this correspond with our website platform. If you use WordPress or whatever, are we able to push the content directly to that platform? How does this correspond with our other parts of our marketing communication technologies like Eloqua responses, or how can we push this message into social and those sort of different things. So this is really creating the frame of who do we want to communicate to, and how does that stage really look like?
Yeah. So when you log in and you go into your editorial calendar, as I said before, when you go in there, you can actually see and have an overview of all your running activities. So you can see what's going online, what's going into production, where are we in the production stages, and what's going to be promoted on social for this. So this is actually just a screenshot of our own demo account. So
I think this is really one of the big challenges we also see with many of our customers, because from an organizational perspective, most customers are organized in channels, right? So you have a web manager or an email marketing manager, or you have a social media manager, etc. And they're all planning different sendouts, and many customers are administrating the the planning of distribution of content in a spreadsheet or in a homemade an element. But in this case, we actually consolidate the information both from a content production perspective, but also from a content distribution perspective. So you as a company can log in, and all your marketing users will be able to see the connection between when will the new piece of content actually have to be approved because it has to go live on this specific date. So it gives you really an overview of the content production and also the content promotion, pulling in information from different parts of the system. For instance, if it was connected with Eloqua, you would also be able to see which emails were scheduled to be sent out at which timings.
Yeah, exactly. But when we dive a bit more into the planning part, there's also I think a lot of great content gets stuck in the process of production because it's we have a super good idea, but then we get stuck somewhere between here and publish because it's difficult, or that guy we usually use for writing that type of copy, he's not he has a sick child or something like that. So when you work in planning, actually going in ideas and topic planning, that's what I really like is so you can plan on an idea level. So you can start your content production with just having a good idea, and you can as a user of this system, you can just log in and you can just put your idea in and let it cook and boil, and you can move that into actual production. So when you have your idea, you want to put a persona into it, you want to put the engagement stage into it, and you can also have the idea assigned to someone, and you can put on some deadlines. I think this is a good thing for us to promote very soon, as you can see this one. So when you have your idea, you can just move it into to production by choosing which authors you want to assign to the idea, and just let them know easily that there's a task for them.
And I think this is really one of the challenges that we also see with many customers, is that we have a great idea and we need it to be produced by a specific date, which gives us challenges because often it is people that are specialized in specific areas that needs to write this content, and it might not be their main task as a copywriter. It might be somebody that is specialized in a specific area of your product or your solutions or your services, etc. So having a place where we can create the idea, distribute the creation of the content to other people is really an important part, because at this stage, as you can see on the screenshot, we not only assign a piece of content, we also tell this author, in this case Nikki, we tell this author that we're writing to Johanna and we're writing in the engagement stage. And the engagement stage, these are the specific elements that we need to communicate to her. So it gives us a lot of functionalities to really drive a process of content creation, not just generating great ideas and storing those, but also pushing that into to specific authors and managing the process in itself.
Exactly. So moving into production, you're still in the planning part, because you have switched your idea into an actual production stage, and you can see here that over in the right corner, you can see here that you have a lot of different stages for a content production, for someone to write it and someone to approve it. And when you have done that, maybe you need to have a different language version of it, and also obviously you want someone to proofread that. So all the different stages are managed and easily distributed between the different authors and stakeholders.
This is naturally configurable. So this is set up for your specific content, managing your content process and content production process to ensure that the right people has approved and that it goes through the needed approvals. Also, again, taking into consideration that we need to make sure that the corporate identity is aligned. We use the right wording and vocabulary in our communication strategy. So again, it's approved by the necessary people along the way.
Yeah. But when you're in in the production part where you're actually writing, as you can see here, the screenshot is actually just a blank page. So instead of having a blank page in Word, now you have a blank page in Compendium. But the difference here is that you have a lot of help because there is, for example, the content title wizard, which gives you a list of possible titles that are actually very good with SEO and SEM. So you can have a big help in writing that sometimes very tricky title. So because you want your title to be extraordinary every time, and that's really time consuming and quite difficult task. So when you're in your content creation, you also have a lot of keyword suggestions that are also helping your success for later. So if you use these words in your text, they will actually be checked, and your content score, as you can see on the right side of your screen, you can see content score, and as we have written nothing in here, it's quite red, so it's not really helping us reaching out to Johanna. But as you start using these keyword suggestions, you will actually have a content score going more and more green, and this is all being generated based on your previous efforts as well. So it's not just a general SEO-SEM, but it's actually based on the previous efforts that you have put into play here. We also have some best practice suggestions to include image or video, link to landing page, and stuff like that, which also will help your content score rise. So actually, this is quite a unique tool for producing content, and it's all in one place. So it's really taking stuff to the next level for the author or writer.
And what we see the value of customers actually gaining out of this is that the content is not being created in silos. It's being created in one central place, and it's being aligned with your personas and your different buyer's journeys, and different stages of the buyer's journey. Which means, again, like we discussed in the beginning, we have one centralized location where we store our content and we score the content based on the elements of the content. So we understand whether this is really good content, or we should create new elements, use new words, etc., to really to score the content at a greater level. You can also use this platform to publish this on specific dates, whether it's been approved already. And we have options to preview the content, etc. So again, we utilize the technology to really centralize the creation of content, the production of content, and also into the next phase where we really need to promote and publish the content.
Yes. As I said, actually, the previous slide, you actually work it in plain text, but you can switch it over to HTML and use it to publish. So When you want to publish, you can, as you can see here, add a lot of different accounts. Obviously, we have added Elqua, but you can add a lot of different promotion account as well. Because when you want to make sure that you have written something really extraordinary, and you know it's extraordinary, and you know it is super relevant for the right audience, then obviously you want to make sure that the right audience also know it's there, so it's easy to find. So when you move from publish to promote, it's all about making sure that you have the number of visitors seeing this, and that everybody in your audience is really have the opportunity to enjoy what you have to tell them. So when you have your persona here, Johanna, and you want to make sure that the content you wrote is being accessible for her, you can, as we just saw, you can link the content to Elqua, and in this case you have linked your persona into a segment in Elqua. So now she is not only Johanna, she's a lot of Johannas, and which means that when you want to promote the content, you can actually just shoot it out through a segment in Elqua, and it could look a little like this. So you have a person in the learning phase, and you have a flow in Elqua just supporting that that journey that she's going through. So when you wanna make sure that she's moving up in the different stages, you have actually just created a lot of content in Compendium and shoots it out through Eloqua.
So because we've connected Eloqua and the Oracle Content Cloud right now, then the content in the emails or in other channels would be personalized after the persona that we set up from a content perspective. So again, as we discussed a little bit earlier, the job for us here is really to create content, produce content, consolidate it in one platform, but be able to distribute it based on the different stages that that Johanna in this case is actually involved in. So in this case, Johanna would receive a number of different touch points in her life cycle of the learn phase, but the content would be created in the Content Cloud and automatically be pushed into the emails based on the persona that Johanna has. So it really gives us a dynamic way of managing content centralized and then also pushing it into the different platforms.
Which also gives us a that's no problem. But the thing is that when you have produced in Compendium really good content, and you have proven the value of the content, you can also reuse it and recycle it in bits and pieces of it in different other articles. So what you have produced one time and proved works, you can take it into a different setup and reuse it, and that way you can make it much easier to create new content.
All right, guys. So we gave you a short introduction to how the platform can really support the customer journey, and I think if we go back to the start of this this short presentation, we try to identify the real challenges that we see customers actually having today when we meet them. You know, the task of creating content that is addressed to personas in different buying stages, managing customers that authors that that are in different places in your organization, having different silos for managing the content, emails and websites, etc. So this is a way of consolidating all content into the centralized platform that can then distribute the content based on personas, based on different buying stages. And to sum up what this platform really does for you, we have the plan phase, so we make sure that we have personas, we have buyers' journeys, and we can plan and see our complete marketing calendar, both on the content creation, so we know that content is ready for the launch of the new campaign. We manage the production of the content, a really good editor that can also help you create effective content and make sure that this content is hitting the right scores, that it's search engine optimized and all of these different things. We have the functionality of publishing this content into different platforms, into Eloquent, into Responses, into your website, pushing it through social, those sort of different elements. And we also have the functionality of really proving the value of the content. There's a full analytics part of this technology that also gives you insight into what pieces of content are converting the best. So once you've created your content and it is available through different channels, we can also, from this centralized part, look at a specific article and see that, okay, this article is not really converting. Maybe we should update the content or put in a video, or update the header or whatever it might be. So it really gives us a functionality to optimize and prove the value of our content marketing investments. So I think for us, I guess the closing notes here are that we can create the best piece of content, but it really can lose its power if it's in the wrong context. As Matthias's example in the beginning of strawberries and shoes makes a good point of that. And I think everybody is aware that we need to do personas, and we need to be relevant in our communication, and we need to be in stages and channel the true omni-channel communication strategy. But the real challenge for most of the customers that we meet is how do I manage this huge task of producing content, planning the production, promoting it, and also documenting the real effect of the content strategy and the content efforts that we're all doing.
Yeah, I just might add that this is we've merely scratched the surface of a really unique tool. So obviously, if anyone in the audience would like to see a little bit more or have a dialogue about this, you feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, so Matthias, thank you for taking your time to jump into this, and also for those of you that stayed with us for these 45 minutes. I hope you got a good introduction to the platform. As Matthias correctly said, this is a tool that can do a lot of stuff, and we only have 45 minutes to give you a brief overview. So if you want to see more details around the product, please reach out to us, and we can give you a full demo of the platform, and also see if you can use this in your organization. I think the challenges that you should have to really involve yourself in a project like this is if you truly believe in content marketing and want to manage that content process and make sure that it is promoted to the right users and customers, then I definitely think this is worth spending a little bit of time on. So I would also like to take this opportunity just to promote an assessment that we have made. So a lot of people are investing in marketing technology today, and we've made an assessment, an online assessment. So if you go to increase.dk/assessment, you can sign up for an online tutorial. We'll receive some emails. You need to answer some different questions in that, and we'll send you an evaluation on whether we see that you are ready to really gain value out of an automation project. So with that said, I want to thank you all to taking the time to joining our webinar today. If you have any questions, please feel free to stay online and fire off some questions. I'll keep Matthias here for a little bit of time, and yeah, fire away if you have any questions. And if not, then just want to thank you all for joining, and wish you all a fantastic day. So fire away if you have any questions. No questions today? Maybe? Maybe there's a question of, are you really a Real Madrid fan, or? Selv tak, Thomas. Håber, du var tilfreds med den. Alright guys, doesn't seem like we have any questions today, so thank you all for your time. Have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you on our next webinar. Speak to you soon.